Okay, so imagine your mind is this structure you're building, a huge project, right? What are you actually building it with? What's the foundation you lay down each morning? Often we just kind of let things happen, but the material we looked at today really pushes back on that. It offers this core idea.
Yeah, it really does. It boils down to this powerful statement of like self-creation.
Hmm.
I'm a reflection of the thoughts I choose to think.
Mm.
And this collection of affirmations we dove into, focusing on success, confidence, happiness, they're not just nice little phrases. They are a surprisingly detailed blueprint, like engineering instructions for a specific mental and emotional state.
A blueprint. I like that.
I
Okay,
know.
so let's unpack that blueprint then. Our mission here is to get beyond just the surface words,
Mhm.
and distill this repetitive language into maybe three core pillars of mental architecture. Things like control, capability, and connection. These statements seem to map out this like ideal identity you're meant to actively construct.
Exactly. And the key is that construction is daily. It's immediate. It's presented as totally non-negotiable. These are I am declarations, present tense, designed to sort of preemptively handle anxiety and channel your focus.
Right. So the first phase, maybe the most vital one, is hitting that reset button every morning, claiming the day, defining control. This is where it gets really interesting, I think. The sources just hammered this idea of immediate daily renewal. Things like, today is a new day full of endless possibilities, and being grateful for the opportunity to start fresh. It feels like a really deliberate mental shift.
It is. And that shift is crucial because it moves you, psychologically speaking, from just reacting to stuff to feeling like you're the one in charge internally. We're talking about internalizing your locus of control here. When you actually say out loud or in your head, I'm in charge of how my day unfolds, or even more pointedly, I am in control of my thoughts and emotions. You're basically grabbing the steering wheel of your own experience no matter what's happening outside.
Okay, but I have to push back a bit here. Doesn't that set you up for disappointment? Life throws curveballs, right? If I declare I'm in absolute control, and then, the wifey dies or my meeting gets canceled, isn't that just like positive thinking delusion when reality bites?
That's a really fair question. But the blueprint seems to anticipate that. It does it um, by narrowing the scope of control quite strategically. It's not saying you control the traffic or the weather or other people. It's about controlling your response to those things. Notice how it deliberately clears the decks. I let go of any negativity from yesterday and focus on today. It's like putting up a mental boundary. Forget yesterday's mess.
Ah, I see. So the peace comes from knowing the difference, not from trying to dominate everything.
Precisely. The source material is actually quite nuanced there. It works like a filter for your attention. You see that explicit balance. Today I will focus on what I can control and let go of what I can't.
Hmm.
Making that distinction consciously is what allows for that feeling of peace. It talks about being at peace with where I am and where I'm going.
And I suppose if you've done that mental filtering, then resilience kind of follows naturally. Setbacks aren't personal failures
All
anymore.
right, they become just data, input. The framing shifts completely. Challenges aren't threats. You choose to see challenges as opportunities to grow and improve.
Hmm.
So the goal isn't just to survive difficulty, but to actually get stronger from it. It reinforces that every challenge I face today will make me stronger. You're basically training your brain to see tough stuff as proof you're leveling up.
Okay, so if that first part is about setting the stage daily, the next section really gets down to the foundation, self-worth. This feels like the absolute central pillar. It makes this non-negotiable claim of intrinsic value. What really jumps out at you about how these statements build that identity?
Well, what's striking is how it completely bypasses the usual way we think about worthiness, that conditional stuff. Most of us operate on an unconscious, I'm worthy if I get the promotion or if people like me. This blueprint just tosses that whole system out. The power is in stating it as a present fact. I am worthy of love, respect, and kindness. Full stop. Your worth just is. It's not earned.
Yeah, that feels foundational. You can't really build lasting success if deep down you feel like you don't deserve it, right? And it boils down self-acceptance to that incredibly simple line, I'm enough just as I am.
And that line is critical for resolving internal conflict, cognitive dissonance, right?
Yeah.
If you secretly believe you're fundamentally flawed or unworthy, then any success you do achieve feels weird, stressful, because it doesn't match your inner story. So establishing I'm enough first, that creates the psychological bedrock. It lets success actually land without triggering self-sabotage.
Okay, but again, the skeptic in me asks, if I declare I'm enough just as I am, doesn't that kill my motivation? Why strive for more if I'm already perfect? Where's the drive for growth?
Another excellent point. And the blueprint seems pretty smart about this too. It holds both ideas at once. Yes, your core worth is inherent right now, but that doesn't mean you stop moving. The identity is dynamic. It's evolving. I am becoming the best version of myself every single day, and I'm proud of the person I am becoming. It's a process.
Ah, okay. So acceptance isn't the finish line, it's the starting block.
Exactly. And the thing that keeps this solid self-worth from just floating away into, pure fantasy is gratitude. That's the anchor. You ground that high self-regard in your actual present life by saying, I'm grateful for my health, my mind, and my body, or grateful for the people in my life who support and uplift me. Gratitude keeps the whole structure tethered to reality, to appreciation.
All right, let's shift gears to the engine room then. Capability and inspired action. This is where that internal architecture starts to generate real-world results, isn't it? The statements keep pairing belief with power. I'm confident and capable of achieving my goals. Believing isn't quite enough. You have to activate the capable part.
Right? It moves from just feeling good to actually doing things. And the sources offer a really clear, practical strategy for tackling big, scary goals. It's basically chunking, which we talk about in behavioral psychology. When a goal feels huge and vague, anxiety goes through the roof. But the instruction cuts right through that. I will take one step at a time, and it will be enough. That makes the abstract suddenly feel manageable.
That's such a great antidote to getting stuck in overthinking, isn't it? Analysis paralysis. It feels like it taps into that Zeigarnik effect, our brain's tendency to obsess over unfinished tasks. Just taking that tiny first step creates this open loop in your mind that kind of pulls you forward. It builds momentum.
Precisely. You give yourself permission to start imperfectly. The focus is on progress, not some mythical perfect outcome. And this builds what it calls inspired action. It's not about waiting passively for the muse to strike. It's about actively choosing to be confident, courageous, and capable of taking bold actions.
But boldness doesn't always pay off immediately. Actions face resistance. Sometimes they fail spectacularly. So how does the framework handle that, especially if the goal is also, I will approach each situation with patience and calm? How do those fit together when a bold move blows up?
Well, that loops right back to the first pillar, control. That patience and calm affirmation. It's like your emotional toolkit for when things don't go according to plan. It's essentially an instruction for failure recovery. It dictates that even if the external result is disappointing, your internal state, the part you can control, remains steady. It ensures a setback doesn't shatter your identity or stop you from trying again. The process, the trying, becomes part of the win, not just the final score.
Which brings us nicely to the final stage of this mental architecture. Projection. Section 4 is all about radiating that internal state outwards. The abundance magnet idea. Right, the magnetism. So what's the thinking here? How does this internal work supposedly attract external success? The language is very direct. I am a magnet for positive energy and abundance, and I attract opportunities for growth and success every day. How does that actually function?
Well, if we look at it psychologically, we're likely talking about cognitive priming and maybe expectancy theory. When you consistently affirm that you attract opportunities, you're essentially tuning your brain's filtering system, the reticular activating system, or RAS. If you're primed to expect good things, to look for abundance, your brain starts noticing possibilities, social connections, business ideas, whatever, that were always there, but you just filtered them out before because you weren't looking.
So it's less like magic and more like focused attention fueled by belief.
I think that's a great way to put it. And notice the required mental posture. I'm open to receiving all the abundance the universe offers me. That implies actively removing those internal barriers, that little voice that says, oh, I don't deserve this, or this seems too good to be true. You have to consciously make space to let the good stuff in.
And this internal state being filled with love, light, and positivity eventually radiates outward. Is that the idea? Affecting interactions.
That seems to be the final step, yes.
Yeah.
Closing the loop. The internal state influences the external environment, your relationships, but underpinning this whole magnet idea is this deep, almost philosophical layer of trust. Statements like, I trust that everything happens for a reason and the universe has my back. And also, I believe in the process of life and trust that things are working out for me.
Okay, now that sounds a bit like giving up responsibility, doesn't it? Just trusting the universe. How does that fit with the very first pillar, which was all about taking proactive control? Doesn't that high level of trust kind of undermine the need to act?
It's a sophisticated balance, I think. It doesn't replace your effort. It aims to eliminate the anxiety that cripples effort. Trusting the process doesn't mean you sit back and do nothing. It means you can take those bold actions we talked about without being paralyzed by the need for a guaranteed specific outcome. Because you trust you can handle whatever comes. It frees up your mental energy to focus on the execution, the part you can control, rather than getting bogged down and worry about the uncontrollables. It actually circles back perfectly to that serenity point.
Wow. Okay, so we've walked through the whole structure from claiming control daily, building that non-negotiable self-worth, then activating capability with those small steps, and finally tuning your mind to sort of attract and receive abundance through trust and focus. It really does feel like a detailed set of instructions, almost clinical, for rewiring your mental state, managing anxiety, focusing energy.
Absolutely. I think the key takeaway is the seriousness of the commitment implied here. These aren't just casual feel-good lines. They're presented as tools for active mental conditioning. You're not just saying words. The intention is to program a new way of being, a new identity.
Right. So let's leave you with a final thought to maybe chew on today. If this blueprint is onto something, if you genuinely accept both, I trust that the universe has wonderful things in store for me today, and simultaneously believe I have the power to create the life I desire, then what specific, tiny, concrete action, an undeniable act of creation will you choose to take right now to prove that power to yourself? Go build something small.